Welcome back to another full episode of Girl, Let's Be Honest. Yeah, so I had recorded the bonus episode and I really wanted to have a little fun, talk some shit about all of my exes, but then I realized I don't want to really be that mean. This must be growth. So I chose not to post that episode, but I did realize that in kind of putting all of that out there, there's a pattern there. And the majority of the men that I've dated are actively using drugs, and so that's why I thought this is not very tasteful to talk shit about my exes when they're struggling with their own addiction. Um so yeah, that's why I just didn't put it out, but that's okay. We just celebrated Christmas. So we're in that weird little limbo in between Christmas and New Year's. I'm really excited to take all my Christmas stuff down and have my house back. Really wasn't in the holiday spirit this year, but that's okay. I did it for my daughter. She really wanted to be in the Christmas spirit. She said it was the only thing really getting her through. So I can appreciate that. But with it being just past Christmas Eve, I did want to go down memory lane and tell you a couple of the crazy times that I was arrested, because my last day in jail was Christmas Eve, 2013. And before that, I had had 12 booking cycles. So I thought maybe it would be fun to tell you about some of the times when I got arrested, because those stories are truly insane. My friend wanted me to talk about crazy things that happened in jail, but honestly, nothing crazy happened in jail. It was just a really sad time. We just would walk in circles around the pod or play games or card games or just chat or call home or whatever, but we never really there was no drama or anything. It's not like you see Orange is the New Black or Wentworth or anything. It's not exciting. It's Washington County. Okay, so the first time I got arrested, I asked my friend if he could give me a ride to pick up drugs, and he said sure. He just wanted to stop at Safeway first to get some groceries, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And we went through the grocery store. We were not even together at this time. I went in the bathroom, I did some drugs. I came out, I grabbed a couple things, a sweet treat, I think. And this guy had completely done a full grocery basket full of groceries, fully shopped the store. And then we go and we kind of meet up at the checkout. He goes through, he pays for all his groceries, I pay for mine. We start walking out and we get stopped by the theft enforcement people. And I'm like, what the fuck? And we get taken into the little room, and it turns out that this motherfucker, after paying over $100 for groceries, stole $6 worth of rice paper and a thing of Mrs. Dash. And this was my first time going to jail. And I wasn't going to jail for theft, but they searched my purse. And of course, I had drugs on me. So I was going to jail for the very first time. So I got booked and released. I couldn't get anybody to answer the phone for me. That motherfucker didn't even have anybody come when he got bailed out. Didn't even bring anybody to come pick me up, because I could have either been released to somebody or waited in jail a little bit longer and been released on my own. They left me in there. Anyway, so that was my first time getting arrested. The next time that I actually went to jail, because they dropped those charges because I didn't give them permission to search my purse, and I also was not stealing, and the theft prevention people did not target me for stealing. They didn't, but the cop wanted to search my bag anyway. And I said no, and he did it anyway. I was getting a ride. I was getting picked up by my friends who were going to sell me some drugs, and they came and got me. I was playing video poker, and They pick me up, and then as we're pulling into my driveway, this cop, like, turns on his lights, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And it turns out that the people that were in the back seat, they had just sold drugs to somebody who was doing, like, a controlled buy on them. So once again, I'm going to jail because other people are getting fucked by doing dumb shit. I mean, obviously, they didn't know that these people that they were selling drugs to were doing a controlled buy on them. If you don't know what that is, that means like the police have set up this person to buy drugs from somebody so that way they can say, "We know you sold them drugs and now you're going to go to prison for selling drugs." And that's exactly what happened. And then once again, this cop made me get out of the car, leave my purse in the car, refused to let me take my bag with me, went through it, found like a little baggie with like barely anything in with it. So once again, I'm going to jail for possession in my own driveway. And then there was another time when I was playing video poker at Sherry's and somebody had left their wallet like on the video poker machine. So I stole it and they like chased me out of Sherry's trying to get me to give me their wallet, and I was just like playing dumb. And then I ended up like crossing the street because I was like 2 blocks from home. And a cop just happened to be driving by, and this person flagged them down. I had a shit ton of heroin on me, a scale, I had baggies, allegedly, like I had all of this stuff. So I took all of it out and like kind of tried to bury it in these bushes and then just started walking. And I ended up getting arrested for stealing the wallet, but I did not get arrested for all of the drugs, which is great because I would have gone to prison. So I got really lucky. I got really lucky. Oh my gosh. They definitely found the drugs because I went back to get it and they were gone. And there's no way that like they had a dog out. Like they were trying to find me with the dog, which they didn't need to because I was like walking on the street. But I went back to get them and they were gone. And I remember like being in the back seat of the cop car and I'm watching them like doing this. And I'm like, "Oh my God, they found it," because I had it all in like a little makeup bag. But they never charged me with it. So I got really lucky. And then this other time, this has got to be the craziest story about getting arrested. I was with some friends. We were trying to get heroin. This guy was going to get it for us. He left his cell phone as collateral because the guy I was with was trying to get like a lot. And then basically we realized that that guy was getting jacked, like stolen, all the money gone, left his little dinky phone as collateral. And I'm trying to like break into the phone and he grabs it from me and he's hella pissed and he just starts pop, 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 pop on the buttons and then throws the phone. And here's what happened. We drive from Hillsborough all the way to Beaverton. He is just talking so much shit, talking about this guy, saying all this stuff about getting jacked and all this like crazy stuff. And I don't exactly remember what he was talking about, but talk about how I'm going to kill him, blah, blah, blah. We get to Beaverton and we pull up and like within seconds, we are surrounded by the police. And I'm like, what the fuck? How is this possible? Like, why are we being surrounded by the police? And it's because when he was pressing all those buttons, he called 911 and then through the phone. So they were not only tracking our location, but listening to everything he was saying on the whole drive from Hillsborough all the way to Beaverton, which is quite like at least 20 minutes. And then I end up going to jail because once again, I have drug paraphernalia on me and somebody else is doing some dumb shit. What was I doing hanging out with these fucking idiots? Oh my God. There was another time where I was with a girl and like we went to Walgreens in the middle of the night and she ended up stealing and I didn't know. And like I always bought everything. Like I'm very smart. If I have drugs on me, I'm not stealing. Hello? What the hell? Because I've learned one too many times, but once again, I'm with somebody who decides to fucking steal something and I don't know. And then next thing you know, like we're getting surrounded and I'm getting searched and I have drugs on me. So I'm going to jail. This happened a lot. This was not fun. You know, there was one time in jail, I think it was my first time getting actually booked into jail, where I was detoxing off drugs and, you know, my dad was kind of fed up with me. You don't get deodorant unless you buy it on commissary, and I didn't have any money to, like, buy these things, so I'm detoxing, like, my skin is crawling, I'm really sweaty, like, all this stuff. I'm, like, trying to shower. Everybody's being really mean to me because, like, I probably don't smell good, and I'm, like, very ill. I look like a hot mess, and there was 2 girls. I'm still friends with one of those girls now, but there was 2 girls who, like, gave me deodorant, gave me snacks, tried to help me, like, feel better. That was just, like, my very first time, like, really going to jail and being there for a good amount of time. That was that was right when I ended up going into the treatment dorm right before my dad died. But other than that, all of my trips in jail were, like, reading books and going to classes, trying to get out of your cell, like, nothing super extraordinary. But I do think it's, like, such a great accomplishment for somebody who, like, could not stop going to jail to not go to jail for 12 years. And so every Christmas Eve, I like to sit back and think about that time and think about how crazy that is. Like, I used to pray in jail to a God that I didn't believe in. Please just let me get out of this and I will never do this again. Like, I will never go back to jail, and, like, could not stop this cycle. I was like a revolving door. It was really sad. It's so crazy to think about, like, that time in my life and the fact that, like, I've been able to stay clean and not commit crimes and get all 23 of my charges expunged, and I'm not a felon anymore. And it's just, like, the greatest freedom because I promise you at, like, 22, I became a felon, like, very quickly because drug possession is a felony. Having drugs on you is a felony charge. And so from then on out, like, you are deemed this thing that society has labeled you as. And there's no way in hell that, like, I was going to let that hold me back. And I had no idea that, like, I would be able to get rid of that stigma just by being myself and making a life for myself and doing better and not committing crimes. And let me tell you, like, when you are a drug addict, it's not that, at least for me, it's not that I found, like, a thrill in committing crimes. It was necessary to survive. It was so necessary. And a lot of the times, like, my charges were possession, which, like, of course, I'm a drug addict. Of course, I'm going to have drugs on me. And it's so great that I was able to get my whole record expunged and be able to not let that hold me back and be able to get my career and become a healthcare professional. And it is so funny to, like, tell this story, not this story specifically, but telling people, like, oh, yeah, I'm in recovery and I used to be an addict and all this stuff. And people will be like, there's no way I believe you. That is crazy. Like, you look nothing like that. And I'm like, I know, it's so wild. The person that I was and the person that I am now, and, like, all the years of growth in between. And, like, I think it has a lot to do with, like, being clean, going through the steps, being in recovery, my brain developing, all of the growth that I've had over the years. Like, all of that is so important. I'm, like, so grateful for that. You guys have no idea. Even though I have stepped away from Narcotics Anonymous, like, I still live with the spiritual principles. I still put them in my daily life. I do not, like, go against anything I've learned in the program. That is how I continue to thrive. There's just a lot of things about that program specifically that don't align with me anymore. So I'm just grateful that, like, I still am able to, like, practice what I've learned and continue to be on this path. If my dad could, like, come back from the grave today and see me and learn about all of the things that I've been able to accomplish since he's passed away, he probably wouldn't believe believe it at all because I was like the worst version of myself when he passed away. And I had been for like 5 years at that point. He really it like makes me very happy and very sad at the same time to know like how proud of me he would have been. And I really hate that I don't get to hear him say, "I'm so proud of you." Like that bums me out. Like everything I do for myself and my kid and my dad. Like my dad always wanted these things for me. And like I've finally been able to do that. And yeah, it just sucks that he's not around to like see how cool I am now. So we weren't able to do Cortland's candle float down the river because we had flooding. And I did my best to make it out there. And I ended up like driving through two humongous, like you can't even call them puddles. They were like small ponds on the road to try to get there. And then luckily Cortland's daughter and her baby daddy were there and were able to like save her memorial because the river was like overflowing basically and it was not safe for anybody. So we're going to end up doing something else for her. But I was able to go out to dinner with her sister and we were like able to really like just reminisce and talk about her and have each other in that moment. So that was really great. But it was really scary, like driving through those little areas. I didn't know if my car was gonna make it. There's a segment that I want to do. It's like things that I would tell my younger self. One is that you don't have to have it all figured out. I know it looks like people know what they're doing, but most people have no idea what they're doing. Most people are like literally just trying to figure things out on their own. And you really shouldn't be comparing yourself to other people. I think it's great to ask for advice and try to get like solutions to things or an outside perspective, but don't feel like you're in a rush to get it all figured out. I'm always been the type that like needs a goal and has to move like, okay, I've accomplished this, what's next? It's exhausting sometimes. I've already talked about this before, but like not everybody is meant to stay in your life, and that's okay. So if I could tell my younger self anything, it would be don't try to hold on to people so close. Like, don't be afraid of losing them because people come and go. And it's totally going to be okay. And you got to stop taking things so personally. Not everything's about you. The way people react, a lot of people are going through their own internal struggles that you know nothing about. It's not always about you. It's really hard because I internalize a lot of stuff and I always think like, I've talked about this before, but I tend to think that like people don't like me. And I think that's just like being bullied, a little bit of trauma. My house is very toxic. One of my uncles was like not kind to me growing up. Yeah, especially when you're in school and people are having a hard time. It's not always about you. I think that your voice matters. It matters more than you think. Standing up for yourself, speaking your opinions, not just going with the flow, doing what everybody else wants to do. Like, I think it's important that you should always voice your opinion. Even if you think it's wrong, you're going to end up in a situation where you need to stand up for yourself and you don't know how. And that's why it's important. I think a very, very important thing that younger me should have known and that you should also know is that social media isn't real. Most people just show the best parts of their life on it. We don't get to see the skeletons in the closet. Stop comparing yourself to other people on the internet. The angle, the lighting, if it's physical, like none of that matters. There's so many times where I'll look at old photos of myself in the gym and I am like, when did I look like that? Why don't I look like that now? And a lot of the times it's just the angle, sucking in the right way, what I was wearing. That's what I'm posting. But comparing yourself, because you know what? Most of those people are probably comparing themselves to other people as well. We need to start loving ourselves. It's okay to say no. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay for people to be upset that you have boundaries. Let them be upset. Boundaries do not make you a rude person. Getting beat down by constantly trying to people please will. Okay? It is okay. And then I think it's also very important to know that failure is not embarrassing. It often gives us room to grow. It keeps us from going down a path that was like not meant for us. It's okay to fail. It's okay to try stuff. You just get right back up. You move on. You do something new. You learn a lesson. That's where the growth happens. When you are uncomfortable, that is when the growth happens. When you are like happy and complacent and really like snugged into your warm coziness of like whatever it is that you're doing, you're not growing. So it's okay. It's okay to fail. It's not embarrassing. The next thing is that rest is not being lazy. And when you're like go, 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 like me all the time, and then your body will force you to take that rest day where you can't get up and you don't feel good and you don't leave the bed and it's maybe you have to call out of work. Like the burnout is not going to make things better for you. You have to schedule a day for you to just relax and take care of you. That is so important. And I don't care if it's work, working out, being with friends, a social battery only lasts so long. Take time for yourself. And so that is going to wrap up the episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Love all the comments. Love all the love. I'll see you for the bonus episode. Bye.